Folks, you have got to check this out. This is why I always say, take your time, dig for the treasures. You are not going to believe this. Hey everyone, it is a beautiful day. The snow is melting and it's time to continue a tradition we've done on this channel for years. We're going to a very particular type of sale that this guy sets up only at the very beginning of spring. He opens up his warehouse and you could go pick all these different leftover finds that he's had from throughout the year. And so we're gonna go back there once again. Longtime viewers of the channel will remember this. And if you're new, enjoy. All right, we are here. Very exciting. Looking forward to this. Great memories, especially this was actually the first place that opened up, or one of the first places that opened up after COVID and let people come in and source. So we've got to get right over here, and inside that warehouse is where all the goodies are hiding. All right, now just for frame of reference, this sale opened about 2 hours ago. I couldn't get here due to other commitments. The sign-up list started 2 hours before that. I've been here before during these sign-up lists, and it really does take a while to get in. So, you know, everyone who wanted to get in the beginning is in there now, but my experience is there's still goodies left, so let's head in. All right, I always head over to the books first, and this is where I found all those Dr. Seuss books, if you remember last time. So let's take another look here. Prices is always good. $1 a piece. All right, so this is actually the first thing that I saw here, which is this Beckett Yu-Gi-Oh guide. Yu-Gi-Oh is a trading card series. You can see it here. It's kind of along the lines of like Magic the Gathering. Not quite as popular, but there are a ton of people that collect and play Yu-Gi-Oh. So since I pick up a bunch of stuff related to it, I'm gonna just add this to the pile. I could sell it individually, or I could combine it with something else, but always good to look out for Yu-Gi-Oh if you have not added this on your be on the lookout list. And sure enough, down here, it looks like, oh, look at that. We've got more Yu-Gi-Oh related stuff, so we could definitely come up with a nice lot of stuff. I'm gonna grab all this stuff, and you see a lot of people, they just don't go down to the bottom, and this is really nice. So now you have two Beckett Yu-Gi-Ohs, and this is it's have like a nice, you know, gold colored trim to it, nice and shiny. And here's another one. There's a whole bunch of it here. I'm just gonna grab all of it. There's another one here. My goodness, I mean, this is just crazy. This is like when I made that Dr. Seuss score last year, when I just found one after another after another. You might remember I also found a bunch of manga here. So this is just a Yu-Gi-Oh gold mine. Oh my goodness, look at it. It just keeps going and going. There's another one here. Oh my gosh, wow. All right, well, I'm set. No matter what else happens today, I'm happy with just this find. What a great way to start off. That's why I always come here. So there's some really good additional stuff down here on the bottom. I can't emphasize enough. That's why it always pays to go down to the bottom, sit down, get yourself a seat. And by the way, I'm not blocking anyone. I hear that a lot. People say, oh, you're blocking people. I'm not blocking anyone. People could go through, and I always ask if people want to go through, if anyone comes near me, I say, hey, you want to come around? You want to come through? Just let me know. But look at all these National Lampoon magazines from the 1980s. That's an awesome stack of 4 right there. So we're going to add that to the lot. We've got a Superman comic here that's pretty beat up, so I'm not going to grab that. But this Pope John Paul comic is pretty funny. Yeah, they actually made something like this. Pope John Paul was the bomb back in the day. I mean, people just loved him. And, you know, to this day, a lot of people have pictures of Pope John Paul in their home. And so we're going to grab this comic book right there. Not sure anyone's described him as the bomb before, but there's a first time for everything. This doesn't have a cover. Look at this. What do we got here? Oh, this is a nice World Trade Center collectible. And I always like to pick up World Trade Center stuff. So we've got another one here, and these are both sealed. So, oh my gosh, here we go again. Here we go again. I can't escape it every single time. Oh my gosh. All right. I'll definitely pick you up for sure. This is cool. This is like an old ice skating magazine or program. It looks like it's a Chinese program or maybe a Japanese program. I'm not 100% right now, as I don't read Chinese or Japanese, but I'll look into it and I'm trying to figure it out. But wow, look at this. This is nice and old. Look at all these old pictures inside. This is terrific. Definitely gonna grab this. Oh, look at that. You've got a nice ad on the back. I wonder if it matches up with this. This is Nippon Time, so it might be Japanese because you had a Japanese item near it. So maybe we'll just grab this too, kabuki show. So kabuki is a type of dance. It's a very elaborate dance. Sometimes people use that term when they talk about people who are trying to use like an elaborate explanation to try to get out of something. They'll say you're doing a kabuki dance. So, but yeah, I'm gonna just grab this, why not? So, all right, so we'll get these two as well. And then I'm gonna leave this one here, even though it's a very famous historical photo of John and Jackie O standing there waiting for the funeral procession of JFK. There's Carolyn Kennedy as well. There's just a zillion of these still on the market. Like everybody picked one of these up, and so there's just too many around. It's just not worth picking up for reselling purposes. Similar here, you see all these Star Wars TV guides that came out in 1999. They made all these different covers, but there's just not any interest in these at this point, and mainly because of this guy. Jar Jar Binks just ruined that whole movie, and so, you know, it just really put a damper on the market for this kind of stuff. So we're gonna leave this stuff behind. There's just not a demand for it. All right, now I've often talked about the importance of looking for books with slip covers and box sets, but sometimes there's exceptions. This set is, again, very overproduced, and so as a result, there's just not any significant demand for it. So we're gonna leave this behind as well. Supply and demand is crucial. All right, now here's another thing to be careful of. You're gonna see these hardcover vintage Superman books sometimes. Sometimes you'll see it with Wonder Woman on it, but when you see this plastic flap on the back, it's often missing the cassette tape. So this is a storybook and cassette tape set, and it's just very difficult to sell these, trust me, without having a cassette. So I'm gonna pass on it for that reason. All right, so moving from the top shelf there to the bottom shelf over here. If you're new into trying to source books, one things to look for are things in a nice lot with a similar theme. And this is going to fit the bill because we have a nice Tarzan and the Ant-Man with a dust jacket. It has a little bit of wear on it, but that's okay because a lot of times with these old books, they don't even have the dust jacket on it. And so this is cool. This one dates back to, let's take a look here, dates back to 1924. So we could sell this one individually for sure, but if we combine it in a lot with this one, Jungle Tales of Tarzan, which also has the dust jacket on it, now you've got a much more appealing lot to a potential buyer. And this should go back to around the same time frame. Let's see, 1919, yeah. So, because you can see the inner artwork is very similar. And then we have a few that don't have the dust jacket on it, which if you just found this would be a tough sell. But now, think about it. You've got these two, and then you've got this one over here as well, Tarzan, the Untamed, and is this another one? Let's see, The Return of Tarzan. Yeah, so I would list these as a lot of 5 Tarzan books. Now I do pick up the coin book sometimes, but not usually these modern ones unless they come in a big lot with the vintage ones with the blue cover. So I'm gonna pass on that. Oh, there's a Star Trek book. Bowley Grow would like that. This looks, let's see how old this is. I don't know, maybe like 80s, 1986. So I might pick this one up. Now here's another one that I'm gonna grab. This is a nice, small, compact religious book. It's like a pocket-sized book. It's about Jesus, and it's pretty old. This one goes back to, look at this, it even has an inscription from 1873 from a reverend. I'll bring that a little closer so you can see it. That is pretty neat. This is the kind of thing where you're unlikely to find another one of them on the market when you're dealing with stuff of this age. Just try to find an exact year on it here. And this one goes back to 1870. 1870. All right, we're definitely going to add this one to the lot. Things like these 5th grade primers and stuff, I normally pass on them unless there's something special about it. This is really beat up, and you know, there's just a lot of these old history books. It really just depends on the content area in terms of whether you're going to pick it up or not. Okay, and then right over here we have 2 more vintage Tarzan books with the dust jackets. Now the dust jackets are pretty beat up, but they're still there and they still would display nice. At least the fronts would. So, and we're gonna add these 2 to the box as well. All right, so it's funny to see the Dr. Seuss book here after the big Dr. Seuss score that I had the last time that I came here. But that was a different time, and there were so many different Dr. Seuss books. It was crazy. So this one's pretty commonplace. We're just going to leave this behind now. Plus, there's not as many people looking for the Dr. Seuss as there was last time because of that book ban that occurred. But I mentioned that I had also found a nice manga score when I came that time. I normally find some manga here, and this is no exception. Definitely pick this up if you could find this for $1. Anything that says Shonen Jump on it is definitely worth getting. Normally they're in small digest versions, but this is a much bigger version of Shonen Jump. And again, for $1, can't miss on it. So let's toss it in the box. Yeah, I'm gonna toss this one back over here for someone else who's a big Star Trek fan. There's just not much value in this, so I'm just gonna leave it here. So I do always recommend looking at the children's books, especially the vintage ones. I mean, cool to see the Snow White and Rose Red book, but it's really not worth that much. I have looked at the golden books that are here. They're always worth checking out, but there aren't any ones here that are of particular value to get, no first editions or anything like that. Folks, you have to check out this find. I cannot believe that this is here. I was looking at these 2 gospel books and I saw this word up top, menu. And you know how much I always say, look for vintage menus, but I'm like, what the heck is a vintage menu doing on a bookshelf? And then I saw the Christmas decorations up top and like the holly, and then I saw the 1952. So I couldn't wait to look at it. So check this out. This is amazing. OMG. Look at this. It says Japan on it. So this is a menu for military servicemen stationed in Japan. It also says Tokyo on it. This is crazy. And then look at this. There's a little attachment with an old rusty paper clip. This is how I think you would go get your spring salad. Spring salad. Oh my gosh, with wedges and French dressing, headquarters and service command, Far East Command, Office of the Commanding General. And there's the Christmas message from Onslow Ralph, Brigadier General. And here's the menu. And look at this. That's gotta be a print signature. Although it kind of looks like it isn't. on, let me get in a different view. My initial thought was that it's a real signature. I'll have to look at this closer later. But that might be an actual real signature. Oh my gosh, 1952, Santa, Tokyo, menu, possible original signature inside. The Christmas prayer, this has gotta be the find of the day. Oh my gosh, if there's anything better than this. Oh my gosh, wow, all right. Let's put this right in here. In fact, I'm gonna put it in the book so we keep it nice and safe. I don't want this getting wrinkled. All right, so I just put it here just to keep it safe, but also to peek out so, you know, it doesn't look like we're trying to hide it or anything from someone in terms of payment when we check out. Hey look, it's a book about Daisy. She better not hear that I said that. All right, so we're gonna move on from the book area. This is everything I got here. And we're going to start exploring some other areas. This is something that jumped out to me immediately because it's not only a vintage electrical outlet, but it's got the original advertising backing on it. It's got, you know, a beautiful lady here. You've got the handyman on there as well. So it really has a lot of things going for it. Going rate on these is like $50. So for $10, I'm definitely gonna grab this. I mean, someone would just love to even display that. Even if this didn't work, someone would just love to display it. So let's add this one to the box here. All right, so make sure you're always looking around, not just at the table in front of you. So look up on the shelves. You can see here, this is a Syracuse orange scarf. I am in Syracuse, New York, for those of you who don't know. The price on this is just $3. I do very well selling Syracuse scarves. But, you know, wherever you live, whatever the big team is, you know, be on the lookout for these kind of fringed end scarves because they tend to do really well. So just depends on what city you're in, but you know, definitely look for them. College teams, pro teams. Scarves are popular, especially in cold cities. All right, so you know I love going after the cups and the mugs, and this brown speckled Denny's cup is really cool. To maximize value, I'm going to make sure I grab this one as well because I could sell these as a pair. And you know, you just have to think how people would use them. Why would people buy them as a pair? You know, maybe they want an extra one while one is being cleaned in the dishwasher, or, you know, they want one for them and one for their spouse or, you know, something like that. So we'll grab both of these, and then you always like to look for something unique, something that stands out. And this cast iron mailbox is really cool. And it's from Intercourse, Pennsylvania, which is an unincorporated community over there in PA. If you're nearby, let me know. I'm sure they have lots of interesting items there, but this is something that anyone, even if you're not from there, you know, just as kind of like a gag joke or something, you would like to have this. And for only $5, definitely worth picking up, so I'm gonna grab that. And yes, I did see the signs, including the lovely lady in front of the Coca-Cola bottle. But these are all repro signs, including this Pepsi sign, and we got another Coca-Cola sign here. So it's just flimsy tin. This looks original. This Portola squid advertising label, but yeah, you could get something like this online already for like $15, and it's in a frame, and you know, and I want $5 for it, so I'm gonna pass it up. But a lot of times you'll find these types of labels loose, especially ones for like fruits and vegetable crates and boxes. So always be on the lookout for them because there is a collectible market for it. Now, unlike the flimsy tin signs that I just showed you, this is definitely something to look out for. I have sold this exact one before, purchased it in a big lot of porcelain signs. And so this is a porcelain sign, and this is an Andy Rooney. Always look for the Andy Rooneys. They usually sell really, really well. The bigger ones usually sell better. Theme is also important. They don't always have the sticker on. Sometimes they've been peeled off, so you have to keep that in mind as well. This one, going rate on it would be around 35. Now they want 25 for it, so I'm gonna pass on it, but be on the lookout. You might be able to find these types of signs in big lots, even at garage sales like I did one day. All right, so this is a broader perspective of the place. We were just over there. There's my box, and boy, oh boy, they tell you don't judge a book by its cover, and this is a perfect example. I think the reason why it's sitting here is because it just looks so plain. But the clue to what it is just looking at what's next to it, because when there's smoke, there is fire. So this is a sealed Bible for $5. Normally I find them loose and written in, but sealed, these sell for around $30. So for $5, it'll go out medium mail. That's worth picking up. So I'll grab that. But now that that is removed, let's look over here and look at what this says. Holy Bible, references, Bible dictionary, and Cities of the Bible illustrated. And this thing is super strong. And wait until you see, first of all, this is like, I feel like I'm opening the gate to a castle. So let's open it up. And this binding is loose a little bit, but that's actually normal for a book of this age. It's actually very good. A lot of them are torn off and shredded. But as you can see, this has some nice old imagery in it. But check it out. This book dates back to 1875. You just look at this. This is beautiful coloring for that age. Well over 100 years old. My goodness, this is absolutely beautiful. And you've got the gilded pages on the sides, which is also awesome. And it's illustrated, so there's probably some other nice pictures in here. I got to be careful because I don't want to damage the pages or rip anything, but they're protected by this tissue paper. And this is an example of what you would see inside. And there's a lot of images like that in here. It just takes time to flip through and find it. Look at the font. The font is incredible. Here, let's find another one of those images. Here we go. Let's take a sec. Let's take a look here. There we go. So there's another one, and it's an enormous book. So here's one good example here. Pages like this that have bigger sections of art on them, especially if it's something more dramatic. Those are nice to picture, especially things with animals and stuff and people interacting. People love that stuff. Here's another great example. You have basically a pictorial index of things. So it's like a guide, and everything here is labeled, and that's all it is, just pictures on these pages. Again, people love this stuff. All right, now here's another treat that you're gonna find inside some of these books, and it's really cool to highlight these. So you will sometimes have these sections that fold out, and so you just open it up, and depending on the book, it could be very, very many pages. In this case, it's a trifold, but this is really a neat feature. People love stuff like this because a lot of times they were torn out, and a lot of times something like this where you would list certain deaths, these are really good to feature, especially if they're blank, because someone might want to use it, or someone just might like the fact that it is been preserved and just not written on at all. So it's definitely a good selling point. Neat feature. Now, this might sound weird to some people, but definitely scour through the book and look for anything that someone might have left inside of there, particularly old bookmarks. And back in the day, you know, in the late 1800s, they didn't really have things that they used for traditional bookmarks like we do these days. So a lot of times someone would use something like this, which is just a piece of lace. And so that's something to actually highlight, that you would include that in the book. You know, not like it's going to get you a ton more money for it, but it's definitely a nice selling point to it. Check that out. It's really, really cool. Now, while these black and white pictures are great, what's even better to highlight is anything like this, because this was more expensive and took more time to make back in the day. So there's not many of these richly colored images that are included, but this is definitely one that I would include. And lastly, I showed you the one about the deaths where there was a blank document. Well, look at this. Here's one for holy matrimony. Incredible. And you know, it's blank, and just look at the font on that. So this is a true gem, and I can't wait to get this listed. And it also has blank pages for births and marriages. In terms of how much they're asking for it, $35. At a minimum, you should be able to sell this for $100, and probably more than that. So I'm definitely gonna pick this up. This is an incredible piece to add to my inventory, and you know, as they say, don't judge a book by its cover. All right, so we were right over there, and there's a nice tub of frames. So I was looking through these, and you know, it's just like anything else, whether you're digging to the bottom of something or you're digging to the back of something, a lot of times the treasures just hide in the back. And this is a perfect example. You know, and it's funny, you know, depending on how old you are, you have certain memories of certain things. And I definitely remember back in the day going to the boardwalk in New Jersey, and people would win framed posters, and they kept them in this type of cardboard that was around the end like this. It's very distinctive. If you ever grew up during that time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And the age on it and everything, the coloring of the cardboard, this definitely dates back to the 1980s. So this is really cool. This particular Mickey Mouse poster is pretty challenging to find, and to have it protected already in this cardboard is going to make it much easier for me to ship it. And for just $5 as a buy-in, oh my gosh, I cannot miss. So we're going to add this to our pile. Wow. You prime time. Oh boy, what do we have here? You. Oh boy. Hello there. Oh, what happens in PTHQ stays in PTHQ. We're definitely gonna pick this up for just $1. I'll buy that for $1. RoboCop fans. Oh my gosh, how bad is that I'm putting that by Mickey Mouse? Jeez. There's some neat things on here. I love horror stuff, and this Frankenstein stoneware mug is really cool. And it's made in Bavaria, which is also neat. So it has like a nice German lineage. I like the German words on it. You got the bats flying out, the castle. Very cool. So I'm gonna grab this because, yeah, this will probably sell somewhere around $50, maybe even more than that. So we're gonna add that to the mix. This is a custom made face mug. There's no artist on the bottom whose name, so kind Kind of reminds me of a frost giant or something, but I'm gonna leave this behind. Yes, I saw the Jolly Roger flag, but that's just a modern generic flag, not worth much. This is interesting. It's kind of on the fence of picking this up because a lot of people like elephants, but there's a bunch of them on the market. It's ceramic. It's an elephant wine decanter. $10 buy-in on it. Could probably sell it for $40. So, oh boy, you know, might be one of these things I keep out for decoration, and then maybe when the ones on the market fall off, I'll list it for a little higher. So I think I'm gonna get it because it does appeal to me. I like it. So nice piece. We'll add the elephant right over there, and see what else we got here. I saw this, but this is a velvet Wile E. Coyote painting. You can see they want $40 for it. It's a personal thing with art. For me, it looks too modern, even though it might actually be vintage. You know, it says vintage, but the main thing for me, it doesn't, to me, really look like a good Wile E. Coyote. So, no offense to the artist, but I'm gonna leave that behind. Toy fans are gonna love this. This is a G.I. Joe Rolling Thunder in the box. The problem is that it is missing some things, and the price tag's pretty high, $200. Now, even with it missing some things, I might be able to flip it for $300, maybe. So it's taking a risk. I really don't want to be $200 into it though. So I am gonna leave it here because you also have some breakage as well. So, but definitely cool to see. The Barbie dolls, you could do really well with Barbie dolls. Shout out to Mountain Man Treasures, who does a lot of stuff with Barbie dolls. These are cool, but the problem is the buy-in is pretty high on them. So, you know, for example, that one there you can see is 25. Buy-in on this one is 40. So, yeah, just not worth it for those prices. There are some other toys here. This is a good one if you ever find it. This is the Masters of the Universe Panther. But the problem is that you do have a bunch of velvet loss, and so it's exposing the black underneath. It's $20, but you know, I'm gonna leave it behind for 20, even though I do love Motu stuff. It does have the saddle on the back, which is cool, so always make sure you look for that. And then there's some other pieces here, like we've got the Road Ripper, but they want $5 for it, but it's not complete. So this is pretty commonplace. The Land Shark, you'll come across this a bunch at garage sales and flea markets for 15. I'm going to leave it. You know, and some of this stuff is priced up like $15 for this, so I'm going to leave that as well. All right, so you know how much I love looking for trains, but you do have to be careful. You have to look at the size of the train, you have to see what it's made of, and you have to know the company. And while Tyco's a good company, it's a very small, common train, not worth much. They want $5 for it. You're not going to make a profit on that, nor are you going to make a profit on these AHM trains, which is mostly what is in this box. So we're going to pass on that. But take a look over here. And I love these old vintage signs. This Pabst Blue Ribbon one is awesome. It does have a little scratching on it, but the big plus on this is that it has the Enjoy It dangle. Someone could touch some of that up if they want to, but this piece is often missing, and you can see why. You can see it dates back to 1983. They want $30 for the sign, but when it has this part on it, that generally makes this easily at least a $100 sale for this. So it's definitely worth picking up for the 30. Might even be able to get more for it. Maybe could push 125 on it. So could make almost, you know, $100 gross. So I think we could do pretty well on this. So we're gonna pick this up, and this will be our last pickup of the day. And by the way, on this table there also is a battle cap. So that should go back up over there. I'll put it over there. It does have the saddle as well. Again, price is $20. Yeah, you know, these sell for around 25 anyway. So, you know, I'm just gonna leave it here. Let's put him back with his friends. All right, here you go. Here you go. Hang out with your friend. There you go. You're back together again. See you next year, guys. All right, we're all set, all checked out. It's a little windy, so let me talk to you from inside the car. Wow, folks, so another year, another amazing treasure hunt. Are you kidding me with some of the stuff that we found in there, especially that menu? I mean, sometimes I really have a hard time containing myself when I'm in there. I want to like really just yell about the finds, but I can't because of obvious reasons. But the total for everything that I got, what a great deal, $140. My goodness. I mean, this place, I told the guy, I said, this never disappoints year after year. So I just can't wait to come back for the next one. But the important thing about this sale symbolically on my channel, it's a tradition. We go to it every single year. So it just reminds me of how long the channel's been going. And the other thing is that it's symbolic of the beginning of springtime, a new season, which means garage sale treasure hunts come back to the channel. Wintertime, things slow down a bit on the channel. I mean, we go to some estate sales and conventions and things here and there, but things are really going to start to heat up pretty soon. So I'm looking forward to that, and looking forward to bringing even more content to the channel, probably more regularly now that we'll have more stuff. So stay tuned, folks, and it's going to continue, I think, to be a great year. 2023 has been amazing so far. So let's keep it going. Let me know your favorite item down below in the comment section. And till then, everyone, see you back at the next one.